Welcome back to the garage here at Basin Motorsports. So I decided to pull ahead one of my projects, and that is putting paint protection film on the Corvette Z06 known as the BatVette, the Batman themed Corvette from 2004. Now the whole process is going to take a lot of little pieces between the hood, fenders, front bumper, lights, everything else. And rather than kind of smash it all into one video, I thought I would break it up. That way, if anybody has any interest of doing this similar project and not have all the pieces, you don't have to watch all the videos. You can just do the ones you're interested in. So this video is just going to show you all the little pieces of setting up the car before you start even getting ready to put the paint film on. This will include the tools and the dimensions I'm using to do the Corvette. Now, as usual, I'm here in my home garage, which means sometimes I have to be a little frugal with the tools I use. Now, what you see here is the Corvette is sitting on 3 blocks. Now, these are 1.5 inches in size, so they're a 2x6 essentially stacked on top of each other. That gives you a 4.5-inch spacer under the tire and gives you space under the front lip. Now, the hood is already done. Everything else is already clay barred. And you can see that I've just got a couple just simple cardboard boxes holding up the edge of the hood. That way I can drape the extra material off, and I don't have to worry about it trying to stick to the fenders. Now, of course, it comes around the lights, and you know this front edge is going to be a little tricky because it flips up and away, and you really can't do that until you get towards the edge. Now, in all these videos doing the PPF, this is going to be a Hexis body fence brand that I bought through Metro Restyling. So I'll show you the dimensions on everything, but essentially it is a 60-inch wide piece, and I got a 15-foot length. And I'll show you all the dimensions and kind of why that matters. But I took some rough measurements before I ordered, and then I've laid it all out, and it's going to come out pretty darn good, I think. Now here's the tools I'm going to use to put this on. Now, of course, when you put on PPF, it's different from vinyl wrap. Vinyl wrap, you do it completely dry. PPF, you want it wet. So I bought a sprayer from VivoSun. It's a 27 ounce. Now you put water in here and a couple drops of baby shampoo. You can pump it up and then use the sprayer. So this came off of Amazon, and all these products and all these tools will have links down in the description, but you know, I think this was like less than 15 bucks. And for the use, it's gonna be worth it. Now, as I said, you want a baby shampoo, you can use a Johnson & Johnson's. I just got a Parent's Choice. This is what was at the local Walmart. It's a baby shampoo. Now, a lot of this stuff, you want baby shampoo rather than car wash or dish soap or anything else. This is, it's tear-free, so you won't have to cry. This stuff won't strip any wax or anything else that's already off the car. You won't have to worry about this adding any contaminants in. Now, the ratio on this is going to be 1 liter of water to 2 kind of big drops, which turns out to be a teaspoon. Now, this is what I found online, so I'm going to try it. 1 teaspoon to 1 liter of water, and we'll put that in, and I'll figure that out to ounces and put it all together, but I'll let you know when I start installing what that ratio really looks like. Now, when it comes to trimming itself, I have my piece. This is what I use in my vinyl wraps, but this is great. Now, the PPF is 8 mil thick, where the vinyl wrap is typically 3 mil, so it's a little thicker, but this will still cut through. So this will kind of shape it as I need to and cut the edges. No problem, it's great. I'm also going to have a razor knife. Now again, this is the same one I've got from my Avery class that I took, what, 3 years ago now? I'm still using this one with a fresh blade on it, so this will cut easily through the PPF. And as far as squeegees, I've got 3 different ones. So of course, these 2 are the ones I got from my Avery demonstrating class. These are rubber. One is softer and one is harder. Now I'm going to take off the edge here, the monkey tail strips for the vinyl, because I need it wet on the outside, and this isn't going to scrape across the water very well. Now, also beyond that, I also have a small little, it's actually a rubber ruler. Now, I don't know where I got this. I'll try to find a link to it or something else, but it will probably work pretty well. It's flexible. It'll work in a pinch. I'm going to try it in case I need it. Now, when it comes to water itself, you can use tap water. On here at the farm here on Basin Motorsports in Sprague River Homestead, we actually have a lot of iron in our water. Now, they recommend to use distilled water, so I have some of this here on the property in the garage. Simple distilled water, this is usually like $1 or so per gallon, and I think I've got 3.5 here on the property. So I'll try to use, hopefully not all of it, but I'll use distilled water in my bottle for the slip solution, which is going to be the baby shampoo and water. And I also have a spray bottle that is just going to be distilled water. This will be the tack. Now the difference is going to be one has soap in it to make it slick or the slip of it. The other is tack, which means it should wash away the soap, and that way it actually will tack down. I'll explain a little bit more as I go through it, as I've learned trying to do this, but just know that I've got two bottles. One's a sprayer with soap and water, the other one is just water. All right, so like I said, this is the dimensions of the sheet I bought. It is 5 feet tall, which is 60 inches. It is 15 feet long, which is 180 inches. Now the hood, I cut a rectangle out of it, 66 inches wide and 60 inches tall. For the front bumper, I ended up cutting a 36-inch piece, so I cut the remaining 114 inch after I took the hood out. It is 36 inch tall, so it is a big rectangle. Now that left me with this piece, so I then cut two strips here, which is going to be 24, obviously the remainder of 36 out of 60. They're going to be 16 inches wide and 14 tall. Again, I've got two of those, one for each headlamp. This gives me some scrap for the turn signals, the lenses on each side, and then that leaves me two fenders. So this 82 ended up being just about 80 inches. So that left me roughly 40 on each fender. So now the actual size of the parts, once you overlay everything, is I'm going to have some extra material. So the headlamps here, I'll cut these out and use these little pieces to go over the door mirrors. The hood itself, you've got the two wings up here next to the windshield. You've got a little concavity here, and they actually come in. So the hood only measures just about 61 inches. It's really about 60 inches and 3/4 in width. So that'll give me about 2.5 inches on either side. The tips are going to be right at the edge of this 60 inches, and this edge here is going to be 1 inch below, the film will be 1 inch off the hood. So that'll give me an inch space here, 2.5, 2.5, touch, and it'll give me probably about 3 inches on the backside here to full width. The front bumper, now it's going to be about 100 and, well, I think on the bumper itself, it was about 101 inches. So that left me 114. So again, I'll have a little bit about 6, somewhere in that range, 6, 6.5 on each side. I expect I'll have a couple inches to play with on the top. And the bottom, I'm going to wrap it as far under as I can. I don't know where it's going to end, and I might actually have too much, but I need to make sure my top and my sides are protected. And the bottom edge, well, it's going to be where it's going to be. Fenders, I know, are going to be at the top edge up here by the headlight. They're going to go across the top. And this edge where it stops at 40 inches or so, where it's going to be, that should be about 40. Where that's going to be is just in front of the vent in the fender. And that way it'll cover the top edge and most of the front edge. And that way it'll protect most of it. You've got your headlamps, which are really about 12.5 by 14, I think it was. And this square is actually going to sit kind of funny on them. But it'll cover them, give me some edge to work with. And then the turn signals are definitely oversized, but I'd rather have too much on the turn signals to do. And like I said, this will be the door mirrors that will do that there. So those will be nice and protected. Now, like I mentioned, to get the car ready, I had already washed it because I was getting it ready for the rally prep. I haven't driven it since last weekend. So this car was clean. I went through and did a clay bar detail on it. So I did all on the fenders, the hood, everything else on the front. It was already clean, so I just went and did it. Now I just bought a Meguiar's kit, which comes with the detail, the quick detail spray, and the clay bars. So you can get those, you get 2 bars in there. So I used that real quick, went over it, and then just wiped it off with some microfiber towels. That way everything was clean and ready to go. And you will use the microfiber towels, so you get a big pack of them, to help wick away the water and get everything sealed up on the edges. So now you know the secret, kind of behind the scenes of how to get the car ready to clean it. Car wash, detail, clay bar, and then the material I bought. Now again, I will put links in the description to all the tools I'm using, all the equipment, and all of the products. So that way, if you guys want to do any of this, whether it's the hood or the bumper or the fenders, all of it, none of it, etc., you will have links in the description to find exactly what I'm using. And you'll know the sizes of what I used, and when you get to the end and see each individual install, you'll know how I worked through them all. So if you guys have any questions on any of this before you jump into it, let me know. Drop the comments down below. If you're interested in the whole process and everything I'm going to do with the Corvette, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification so that you know exactly when I drop a new video out. And we'll see you next time to start the PPF install.